why should you think about nothing? And you might think, what the hell are you talking about? But what I'm talking about is, if you do this simple thing, it will help you take a step back from your life, analyze, and give you a deeper sense of understanding between yourself and the world around you. Now, essentially what you're doing by doing this is it's very simple. So you're looking out at nothing. Either you're going outside, you're looking at the sky, you're staring at a tree, you're staring at a wall. Maybe you're gonna just stay inside, and maybe you're gonna stay inside, go, in your room, close your door, and you're just gonna stare at the wall. You're gonna lay in bed, stare at the ceiling. Maybe you can't do that, so instead you go outside to your car like I am right now, and you just completely don't think about anything. And what you're trying to do for 10 minutes is to stare at something. Don't close your eyes. Keep your eyes open and do not think about anything. Now, once you come back, tell yourself, do you feel more relaxed? Do you feel more at ease? Do you feel more focused? Now, what happened to me was I set myself to not think about anything for 10 minutes, but I think essentially what happened was I ended up staring at the sky for about, I think it was about 25 minutes the first time I did it. And what was crazy about it was the first, I think, half of it, because essentially I did have my phone with me, and I just had it just to see the time, right? I set a timer on my phone, and the first 13-12 minutes really felt long. And I think it's just because, I'm so used to my dopamine receptors are so high, the threshold is so high, that just staring at the sky and thinking about nothing, it's just a crazy thing to think about and to do in this modern day age where we're living with technology. The world is busy. It's always moving. It's always up to date. New things are happening every day, every hour. Every minute. And to be someone living in this modern age world, but also taking a step back and just staring at nothing, really sounds like an insane concept. But then what happened to me was the second half. So the next 13 minutes, I actually just started feeling more at peace, and I wasn't even thinking about the time. I was just letting my mind drift, and whatever I thought about, it would come and go. And there were a couple things that I did think about, but the goal essentially is you don't think about anything. But my mind did eventually start to drift, and it started thinking about, why am I not doing things that I'm passionate about? why am I not doing things that I actually enjoy? And it was so crazy because like these thoughts kept coming in my mind. And again, I wasn't trying to think about anything. It just kind of, my mind just seemed to drift there. Maybe in about like, it was about 20 minutes in, and my mind just eventually drifted there. And I thought, that's a good point. Why am I not doing the things that I'm passionate about? And eventually I kind of thought to myself, I think I've thought to myself for a while, and then when I checked my phone, it said 25 minutes, and I thought, wow, that felt like a really good experiment. Like just for me personally, it felt like a really good experiment to just not think about anything and just let my mind drift. And I would advise you try this yourself. You don't have to do 25 minutes. Like I said, you could just do 10 minutes and just think about nothing. Like everybody's experience is going to be a little different. The goal is not to compare and contrast here. The goal is just you need to just figure out, how do you feel after those 10 minutes? Do you feel more at ease, more at peace? Are you more relaxed? Maybe you're actually more agitated. Maybe you are less focused now. I don't know. But I will say that I think generally, because I have asked my friend to do this as well, and he kind of gave me a weird look, like, what are you talking about? Just stare at nothing? Like, why would I do this? Like, what? And I did tell him to do it. He did do it. And even with him, and he's someone that I would say uses social media, and he's more tapped into the world and the internet and the news probably 3 or 4 times more than me. But even with him, he felt this sense of calmness. That's what he told me. He felt this sense of calmness. And I think he said the first like 2 or 3 minutes for him felt like an eternity. And that's what it felt like with me, but it was the first 12 to 13 minutes. So I don't know what this means. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But then he did tell me that I think he told me that his mind also did drift, and I asked him what he thought about, and he said that, yeah, it was weird. Like, once I started just not thinking about anything, like what he did was he stared at a tree, and I was staring at the sky. He stared at the tree. Again, it doesn't really matter what you stare at. It's just, it has to be like, don't look at your phone, or don't look at some kind of like video. Like, the goal is to not think about anything and to just not look at anything that's electronics, right? Don't look at electronics. And he said that he started thinking about things that he wanted to do, and he said that it was like 2 or 3 years ago where he wanted to like go somewhere. Like, I don't know, he wanted to go to like a specific place and just kind of do like a road trip. And then after the 10 minutes, because he did 10 minutes of just not thinking about anything and not looking at anything, and after, I think it did kind of work a little bit on him, but he eventually kind of went back to normal. And he just started like looking at his phone, and nothing wrong with that per se, but it was funny because like the next 2 or 3 days, I don't remember exactly, but he came up to me because we work at the same job, and essentially he told me that, you know what, I think once my day off comes, I think I'm just gonna go and drive there. And I was like, wait, oh, that thing that you were thinking about doing, right? And he said, yeah, like, I don't know why, but I feel like I have this urge to just go and drive to this place. And it's about like 2 hours away. And he just did it. It was his day off. And then he literally just told everybody, hey, I'm just going to go on this trip. And people thought like, this just seems random out of the blue. And I understood it because, I talked to him about it. But yeah, it was kind of cool. Like, his experience was different than mine. Like, for example, for me, what I ended up thinking about was, like, why am I not doing things that I'm passionate about? And I just started thinking, I need to make more videos, or I want to make more videos, mainly just to express myself and to kind of like, I want to live life on my own terms and stop thinking about like, the rat race and just like who's doing what or who's doing, what's going on with the world. And just, it's like, I just realized that I want to be free from all the noise because, the world is very, very busy, like you can imagine, like, so essentially what's happening, I would say to most people that use the internet and use social media every day, essentially what's happening in your brain is your brain receptors are just going left and right, up and down, and it's constantly moving so fast as if it was a busy traffic, intersection. There's just so much stuff going on. You got people on the bike lane, they're trying to turn, they're trying to go straight. You got cars going straight across, then you got the light, but then there's other people trying to turn left, they're waiting, maybe it's a yield, you got to wait for the other cars coming across from you. I mean, there could be planes on top flying across the city. Especially if it's like nighttime and it's a very busy city. I always think about that's how most people's brains are. And it's constantly moving. It's constantly turned on, and you're not giving yourself a break. You're not giving yourself a chance to catch up. And I don't think this is good. I really don't think it's good. And essentially, I want to tell you guys that you should try this on your own. Go to a quiet place, wherever that may be. Either you can go outside and you stare at something, or you stay inside your room, and for at least 10 minutes, you just don't think about anything. And I know it's like it's like a simple concept, right? Like, oh, just don't think about anything. But you might be surprised at what this might do for you. And, it has helped me a lot. I took a step back and I started to analyze my life, and there's, I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, where there's so many people where they wish they were doing something different with their life, but they just feel like they're a mindless NPC drone, and they just go to work, they come back home, and they kind of just like, they just want to drink a beer and just relax. And like, there's nothing wrong with doing that every once in a while. But if you're someone that wants to get ahead and get out of your situation, you want to move forward in life, you can't do that every day. Like I understand people have to work. I mean, I work myself, but essentially you're working. If you're working, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you're working 40 hours for someone else, but you're making someone else's dream a reality, but you're not focusing on yourself. So when you get back home, now after your 8 hours is done, you were responsible, you took care of what you were supposed to do, but now when you come home, now it's you got to focus on you. What are you doing in your life to help you get to the life that you want? Are you going to work on yourself? Are you going to eventually make a change and, start changing your old habits? Maybe you got to get rid of drinking alcohol. Maybe you drink too much alcohol. Maybe, you're addicted to sugar. I mean, that's definitely my problem. I am highly addicted to sugar, and it really sucks. But, addictions are a real thing, and the only way that you could really get out of it is if you take a step back and you start focusing on yourself. Like most people have to work. So you work, whatever your 9 to 5 hours are, right? You have 8 hours. Usually it's probably going to be more like, 10 hours, because the commute to work and then coming back to work. So let's just say 10 hours. That's you going to work, dealing with that. Now you have another, and then let's say you want to sleep for 8 hours, right? Most people need 8 hours sleep. Maybe you only need 6 or 7, but let's just say you need about 7 hours. So now you got 10 hours that you have to do for work, and then another 7 hours for sleep. So that's 17 hours that is just gone, and you need to do that, right? So what does that mean? That means you have, let's see, let's do some math. So 24 hours minus 17. So you have 7 hours left in the day. 7 hours left that you could focus on yourself. And this is essentially what's going to get you to the next level. Maybe you want to change your career. Maybe you want to get a different job. Maybe you don't mind your job, but you still want to do something else on the side. Like maybe you just want to go out for a walk. I mean, what I started doing is I just started going for a hike. I just started committing to myself and going for a hike 2 to 3 times a week. And that's it. Just mainly just doing that. Well, I have also been, doing a couple of tweaks in my life, just slowly. I started making videos, and I pretty much just want to be more, I'm not trying to be like grind hard like every single day, like I have to do something, but I do feel like I want to do things that I'm actually passionate about. I want to essentially help other people. I want to talk about my journey and my life, and I just, I already feel more liberated. It just feels so much better. And, I feel like I'm slowly going to progress, just changing my thought process, which will eventually change my actions. And this is the whole point of doing this, this thought exercise of just going somewhere that's quiet and thinking about nothing for at least 10 minutes. And I know it seems like a crazy concept, like it's such a simple act, but I want you to tell me in the comments down below what you guys have experienced by just doing this 10-minute thought experiment. And yeah. Until next time, stay true to yourself. Until next time, I will catch you on the flip side.